2. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the FoxDen. Randy Fox here with Stephen Allen Fox. We are here to help leaders grow. We're gathering. We're thankful you've joined us. Spread it out to others. We've got an exciting episode today. I'm going to kick us off with an inspirational impact that, Steve, you have no idea what I'm about to say.
No, I don't.
Yeah. How's life in California today?
Rainy right now.
Rainy.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
We had
Right
a lot
now
of rain here.
Yeah.
We had a lot of
How
rain here
rare?
yesterday in Florida.
We don't get rain a lot. Well, we have lately, but not usually.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you said something about the weather because we really can't necessarily control the weather. And I think it relates a little bit. I want to share this a brief little story and maybe a little bit of a different take than some of the ones we've done. We just completed. I'm involved. I'm a director for a youth basketball program here, and we do several things throughout the year. Camp, skills development, a recreational league for several months, and now this time of the year, just completed our tryouts as we begin the basketball travel season that hits spring into the summer every year. And we probably had 130 kids-ish, I'll say, come out or raise their hand that they wanted to be on a team. We ended up with 9 teams, and we have about 75 or 80 athletes, which is really exciting, right? But if you think about that, that means there's about 50 athletes, ballpark, of the 130, right, that did not get selected. And it's interesting because, you get maybe some responses or you hear about what people are doing. And I received an email, rather lengthy email, about this one parent that was very concerned about her 6th grade boy who's been working really hard, and he's played on the middle school team and he's doing really well on the 6th grade team, which is not really, we have an 8th grade team as well, right? He's on the B team, if you will. He's doing really well and he's working really hard, and he's very disappointed and very hurt that he did not get selected. And he and they believe that there are players on the team that are not as good as him. And they know these players aren't as good as him. And they would like something constructive to give him, because it's very difficult when he knows that there's kids with less skill that made it. So talk to us about the scoring rubric and how were these decisions made, because I need to give him something constructive as an explanation because he is disappointed and hurting. So I was thinking about this, and I normally we have an inspirational impact where it's like, oh, that's so inspiring. But I'm going to flip this on its head and say, no, this is inspiring. Because doesn't this happen to all of us? Whether we're kids or adults, there's things that happen in our lives, and some of it, like the weather, is out of our control. And there's certain things that are in this kid's control. How hard he works, right? The time he puts in to develop his skill of dribbling and shooting and all those other things. But there's some things that are not in his control. How tall he is, right? The maybe how strong he can get because sometimes people are built differently. And the biggest thing he can't control is the decision of the coaches that pick the team. And when something happens in our life where we think that we deserve it and we didn't get it and we put all the work in, just because we put the work in doesn't mean we're guaranteed the outcome. Yet, how do we move forward? That's what the parent's asking me. How do I help him move forward? And I'm thinking you control what you can control, and you recognize there's some things out of your control, and you accept that, and you go back and you work harder to continue to get better at what you can control. And you say to the kids that made the team or the person that got the promotion or whatever it might have been, congratulations, I'm happy for you. You cheer on the other victory and you get back to work to get better. So I kind of took something that wasn't necessarily, but I wanted to get your thoughts on my thought, but even also just the thoughts of maybe other things you think about in these situations, because it happens in life, all walks of life. We get told no, but we may think we should have been given the yes. What do you think?
Well, I totally agree that this happens to people all the time. You know, my daughters do competitive dance, and there are many different reasons that somebody scores higher or lower or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it's subjective by the judge. Um, Sometimes it's just a judge is tired, um, or things that just make no sense whatsoever. You know, my daughters have tried out for different dance teams, and they know that the skills they were asked to do were better than some of the other dancers that were out there, but the other dancers get picked and they don't. And then you start wondering why. I've I've been in a competitive field as a conductor of orchestras for many years, and there's a lot of things that I do that I wonder how, why am I not getting a job like that when those people are getting a job like that? They're a lot less experienced. They're a lot, whatever the case may be. Um, and you just start to realize that, as you said, there are so many different factors involved in that decision making process, many of which we have no control over, but we have to just accept that that's the way it is. There's nothing that we can really do about it. And so we have to move forward thinking, what do we have control over? But it's a very difficult thing to do because we all see life through our filter. Number one, we all have our own endeavors. And I, I think one response I have to what you're saying, and it's kind of a rhetorical question, but yes, that is the way the world is. And there's a lot of things that we think we should get that we don't. And yes, there are many different reasons why people will pick things the way that they do. And they're seeing it through their own filter. And sometimes it's not fair. Um, but I also want to flip it back the other way and make it inspirational in this way. If you're somebody who's in a position that has that kind of impact on people, where you're making those kinds of decisions, I challenge you to try to alter that. You have the power. In a position of power like that, you have the ability that just because that's the way it usually is, it doesn't have to be. If there's a fair way to make it happen, be fair. If there's a way, obviously there will still be people who are disappointed because they see it through their own filter. But if you put systems in place, if you put communication in place, if you put processes and procedures in place that help to make it more transparent and fair, that is going to help those people be able to deal with it. So, getting to your second point about they're asking for feedback, I think it's impressive when the parents do ask for that feedback. We do it all the time with our daughters when they don't get selected. One dance school that did not select one of my daughters on their dance team openly said in the beginning, in the email that came out, that basically was like, sorry, you have not been selected. It said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. So our daughter reached out to them, asked them for some feedback on what she could do to improve for next time. They never responded, ever. She kept asking for feedback multiple times. They never responded. So now what they're basically saying to her is, we really don't care about you. And we don't care that you're disappointed. And we told you that we would give you some feedback so you could improve yourself, but we're not going to really do it. And the point behind that is, when a parent, or if it's a young person like you're talking about, asks for feedback, recognize, even if they're asking it because they don't understand how somebody else made it and their child didn't, what they're really trying to do is bring control back to their child and to them when they feel they've lost control. And they have lost control because the decision wasn't theirs. So I feel, in that point, taking the time to actually think, okay, what are some things that player could do to improve their game so that they have a better chance next time of actually making the team? That's the response they should get.
Yeah, and I agree with everything that you said. I think that we have to be fair about it. We want to be open communicators, and right. Let's spin this to the adult world. Maybe it's a hiring process. It's a promotion. It's making a tough decision with a partnership. I mean, goodness, it could be a relational decision that you've just decided that you know what, I've been dating somebody and I'm no longer interested in doing this for whatever the reason may be, right? We have tough decisions that we got to be honest and communicate those things. And I agree with you. I think that we have to be good communicators. I'm working on a response. The first part I had is that, hey, we got to have grit, right? You got to understand that sometimes you got to accept the decision didn't go your way and then go back to work. Number two, like you said, what are the things you can work on? Now, another piece, though, and I think this is also something that this is where we get emotional intelligence, and it's so important as adults in the workforce and in life, is that emotional intelligence is understanding relationships and understanding situations beyond just your own 2 + 2 = 4. And it's that just because you are told to go work on certain things, or just because you are said, hey, you need more education, or you need more experience, or you need to go develop this skill, that as an adult, whomever it is, right? Just because you do it, and the next time you come back and go for the job or you try out for the team, it doesn't mean you're going to get it. There's not a guarantee that because you do what you were said to do, that you are guaranteed that outcome. And so I think the inspiring thing is that we should understand that improving is a valid thing. Communication and fairness are valid things. And working hard is a valid thing. When I refereed college women's basketball, the goal for most referees is to get hired. Then it's to get more games. Then it's to get better games. Then it's to make the playoffs. And everybody wants that. But not everybody can get that. So you're teaching people how to improve and how to get better. And I used to hear people all the time, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've done everything everybody's asked me to do, and I haven't gotten that opportunity. The reality of it is if there's 1,000 people and there's only 25 people that get a postseason assignment, there's only 25 people that get a postseason assignment. And so it is. And I guess the message to be inspiring is that grit's okay. It's okay to work hard and to keep going. And to, like you said, it's unfortunate that your daughter didn't hear back. And I think no matter if it's an adult or a child, even if the person doesn't agree with the answer, they deserve a response.
Yeah. And yeah, I definitely agree with that. And, sometimes, things happen for a reason. I always wanted to go out and be a touring conductor of live to film concerts and all that. And I had a booking agent once that told me, Steve, I just don't think that's the life you want, where you're gone 30 some weeks a year. She's like, you're a family guy, and I don't think that I could do that to you. And I was disappointed when I hear that. And now I look back in hindsight and I thank her.
Right.
So
Because sometimes um, it's interesting. Many, many years ago, long decades ago now, Garth Brooks had a song. I thank God for unanswered prayers. Right? This
right,
whole idea that we want something, and the reality of it is maybe what's best for you in the long run is not. And in the short term, it maybe doesn't feel as good. But we've got to live life and we've got to work toward things with a larger picture in mind and really enjoying what we do have, being grateful and thankful for what that is, and not just being disappointed with what we don't have. So that's my inspirational impact for the day. If unless you got something else, I'm ready to jump to the trending topic if you are.
oh yeah. So today's trending topic, and it's a little bit of a coincidence. You were bringing it. You brought up sports. You brought up kids sports, and I did not know you were going to bring that up, and you did not know that my trending topic today. Out here, well, I'm sure a lot of places, baseball season for Little League is getting started,
Oh yeah.
and
Well, hey, pitchers and catchers have reported for the big leagues.
yeah, well, yeah, very true, very true. And I just, as the season gets started and, our son ended basketball and now is starting baseball, just the thought came to mind. And I have my own personal experience with this as well, but that it's a trending topic because here we go with baseball season. And you sometimes get the coaches that are more about um, winning and they're more about the way the game is supposed to be and less about these are a bunch of 7-year-old boys, let's say, that are out on this field and why are they there, what are they wanting to get out of it, and are we giving them what they want and need and meeting them where they are while um, still improving their game, as opposed to here we are and we're going to go out and win and we're going to be the best team and this is what baseball's all about and here's what I need you to be like so that you can be a real baseball player. And um, years ago when I was in Little League, I think I was in 7th grade, and I had a coach that was all about winning and a coach that was all about yelling at kids who didn't act the right way. And I was somebody who sometimes just kind of daydreamed when I was out there and stuff, and you get in
Oh, I
trouble for it.
remember.
Yeah, and I had such a bad experience that I quit after that year. And so 8th grade, I didn't play baseball. And then 9th grade, once I was in high school, I became an umpire. And I always like to tell people that, I became an umpire because I had a bad coach. And so I wanted to put myself in a position where I could throw the coach out of the game. Um, so, but as this season starts, I think about that and it's like, the coach that Parker has, and I'm not saying that he's one of these types of coaches, but there was, the kids were kind of fooling around, and he lined them up and he said, "Look, baseball's about being patient. Baseball's about waiting your turn to get up to bat. Baseball's about standing in the field and waiting for the ball to come to you." And my wife and I just talked about is that really what's going to help with a 7-year-old who has too much energy that they're wanting to have fun and all this, that instead of gathering their energy by making it fun and getting them excited, you're trying to make them stand there patiently, just stand behind the backstop and wait your turn and be quiet. So I just thought the impact of a coach in Little League and the way that they either make it fun for the kids or they make it all about the game, where some of the kids get left behind and some of the kids, because they're so young, they just don't even get it yet, and so now they're just not having a good time at all. And they just feel like, I mean, one of his friends, the funny thing was when he said that about it's about standing here and waiting your turn and being patient. One of the kids on the team actually said, I thought I was here to have fun. It's like, and so it's like the fun
Well, right.
versus the
Yes.
game, the fun versus the game, and then the maturity level of the child and how it impacts all of that. That's kind of
Yeah.
where I saw the trending topic.
Well,
Curious your thought.
I will say, well, I have a lot of thoughts. The first is my record for throwing out number of coaches in one season was 10. Threw out 10 coaches as an umpire in 65 games. I will say that I agree. There's a book that I read probably 30, 25 years ago called Why Johnny Hates Sports. And it's really written for coaches, right? And what happens is that it ruins the game and it ruins the kid's experience if the only thing that matters is winning. And we talk about it all the time in our program uh, that what we're wanting to do is develop character, teach hard work and grit. We want to teach teamwork, leadership, how to improve, right? And I'm going to say that I can jump this immediately to my 20 plus years in the corporate world. And now, as a speaker, what I speak to people about all the time. And I say that the first thing that matters the most is the people. The second thing that matters is the process. If you build up your people and get the right people and pour into your people, and now you have processes for them to perform through, the profit, quote unquote, profit, results, outcome, right? Whatever word you want to use there. I use profit because it's three P's: people, process, profit. But profit can mean anything that is the outcome. That takes care of itself. You don't focus on winning. You don't focus on making $1 million. You don't focus on selling XYZ. You don't focus on test scores in a school. You don't, right? What you focus on is the people and have a process for them to perform at their best. And guess what happens? You will win games.
Right. And
Because
Mike,
you got kids, it's even more important because it has to be fun and a game. Yet at the same time, they have to understand that there's something to learn. And you're going to coach a 17-year-old different than a 7-year-old. And you are going to lead someone that's 23 years old with zero experience different than somebody that has 20 years of experience in the industry. And to me, what you just hit on with this trending topic is what it really takes to be a successful leader.
yeah, many years ago they asked Michael Jordan, "What is your number one goal with the child basketball camps that you started?" And he said that they have fun. He
That's right.
goes, "When you're a kid, what makes you come back to a sport year after year and eventually builds the competitive drive that is necessary to go further down the road is not you have talent and everybody tries to make you a better player. It's having fun. And if they
Yep.
feel like they're having fun, they'll come back. And then you can actually build on it and make a great player and teach them the game. But if they're not having fun, none of the rest of it's going to actually happen. And I think you're right. You can translate that to any business field and any industry. If the people come into your job, into your work, into your place of employment are having fun, and fun means different things in different settings, but if they're enjoying themselves and they like being there, then you have a shot at being successful. And you're right, the connection between those people and that product or profit is the middle part. That's the procedure. And
Yep.
um,
That's teaching the 7-year-old how to throw a ball, but you can do a lot of fun ways of teaching kids how to throw a ball and make it fun in the process. And
yep,
yeah, I
yep,
love it. I love it. This is just like that. Our time is flown by.
yep.
So we're going to sign off today. Randy Fox, foxpoint.net. We look forward to connecting with you next time on the Fox Den. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, thank you. StephenAllenFox.com. Look forward to meeting all of you or hearing from you.